Well, greetings, blade fans, and welcome back to a very special knife review. Yes, I say that often, particularly when I'm impressed by something unique and new. Although this knife that's in this plain brown cardboard box here, which belies the contents, well, it's going to be a surprise, but of course you've seen the thumbnail, you've seen the name, so you know what to expect. But this is this is what you get from Wiliams Blade Design. There's the little card inside. And oh yes, there's a little knife inside there too. Well, let's take a closer look at this puppy. This is the Osoraku Zukuri Spectral series. And I hope I've got all of that right, but if not, you will see it correctly in the text. Look at the fat carbon fiber. No, it's not multicolored. It's not pink and blue and green and red and whatnot and all the cool kind of things they can do with fat carbon fiber. The fat carbon fiber company, I've learned, is in Lithuania, and they were enlisted by the Wiliams Blade Design Company, notably Chris Wiliams, who is the son of John Wiliams of Japanese sword fame, shall we say, in tactical training. This is his design. Now, we're going to pop it open and I'm going to show you some compares a little bit later on, but what makes this unique is spectral carbon fiber is a special carbon fiber that is extremely strong, much stronger than your typical carbon fiber. I'm told that the layers are thinner. Now, the head of the company, Fat Carbon, I'll leave you the link in the description where there is a video by Blade HQ, I believe, interviewing both Chris Wiliams and and I don't have the fellow's name from Lithuania, difficult to pronounce the name anyway, describing this particular material. It is an integral frame knife. Before I show you the blade, the interesting part of this whole knife is really the handle. And you can see that it is all one piece. As far as I know, it is the only and the first integral carbon fiber knife. Now, we've seen integral G10 knives from Reich, and since then some other companies, notably Lionsteel, and Lionsteel made this for Wiliams Blade Design. Now, I've taken 3 minutes of your time and you haven't seen the blade, so here we go. There's the Osoraku Zukuri, and it is the model number OZF S01. There is a 02 that has a titanium side and therefore is not integral and is not entirely carbon fiber. M390 by Lionsteel. I'm told they chose Lionsteel because of their ability to work with exotic materials and particularly their ability to do integral knives. I did a review on one recently, a Lionsteel knife that was a beautiful micarta, I believe, integral knife. And that's the TM series. Anyway, I'm going to give you this to screenshot, and I'll give you the links. You can look it up yourself anyway. But this is about the material. Now, these came out, actually were first introduced about 11 months ago. That video that I'm going to link you to is about 11 months old. Very quickly here, the OZF Spectral series is the culmination of a collaboration between Wiliams Blade Design Fat Carbon Materials and Lionsteel to produce the first production carbon fiber integral frame lock folder. The spectral carbon fiber developed by Fat Carbon allows for unparalleled lock bar retention tested over 100,000 times with zero loss of resistance. Did you hear that? 100,000 times with zero loss of resistance. Somebody asked me, how do they test it? They probably got a machine to open and close that knife 100,000 times, I would think. Lionsteel is a pioneer of integral folder manufacturing, etc., etc. And this is light and robust. And indeed it is. We're going to do the specs in a moment. Look at that beautiful brushed finish on the M390. I have the fixed blade version of this knife, which we'll show you in a minute for comparison. It is extremely close to the same design, but not a folder. So one solid piece of carbon fiber, an insert right there of steel screwed in, and it is on washers as near as I can tell, so it's not going to be a fidgety knife. This is a lightweight last ditch EDC knife. When I say last ditch, it is designed as a combat type blade with this Osoraku Zukuri style of blade, which you could call a tanto, but we've got a very short run there, not the Americanized tanto we're all familiar with, but more of a traditional style tanto, if I could call it tanto and not Osoraku Zukuri. Let's measure it up. And we're going to have to back out in order to do that. Okay, overall length is 8 inches, exactly. And 3.5 inches exactly for the blade. They didn't mess around. You got a nice sharpening choil there. And that's pretty nicely done with almost a straight plunge grind. Somewhere here I've got the digital calipers. Only 0.47 across the handle. You want a thin handle? You got it. 0.13 blade stock, which works out to be 3.3 millimeters. Not bad for the size of the knife. But here, if I can bring out just the scale without the plastic holder, here's what's going to blow you away, I feel. 3.5 inch blade, right? 2.37 ounces. They call it 2.2 in the specs. 2.37 ounces. Is that an ounce per inch or what? That is way under an ounce per inch. That's right. How is the flipper? It is not jimped. It is skeletonized. It's chamfered on the edges. Very basic. Stands up straight and no problems flipping it. Used a little bit of KPL on this. I thought it was a little tight. If you want to loosen it, you've got to go T8 on both sides at the same time. Otherwise, that's going to spin for you. I haven't disassembled it. Perhaps in the future I will. But this carbon fiber, this spectral carbon fiber, is so hard that they didn't put an insert in for this clip screw. It goes straight into the carbon fiber. So that carbon fiber is threaded. There's your lanyard hole. Here is the basic handle you see on all of the Wiliams knives, even the ones for Columbia River. Blade alignment, perfect, dead center, slightly shy of the end of the handle, which is fine. And you've actually got a longer handle on this one than you do on the fixed blade that I'll show you in a moment. Same notched handle. It is not a slippery handle, okay? And you can grip enough of it so that this knife isn't really going to be moving in your hand. You've got the added safety of the guard there to back you up against any slippage. You've got kind of the wishbone look to the handle. And those grooves definitely do help. They sort of imitate bamboo to some degree if you want to stretch your imagination. And there's the interior. Simply flat spectral carbon fiber. You can see a little bit of shiny spots there that you get from the layering that you're familiar with when you see carbon fiber, fat carbon fiber. Disengagement is relatively easy, but I do have to say there's a fair amount of tension on there, and that's a good thing so that this does not close unexpectedly. There's a little bit of access, very, very, very slightly, just because of the contour of the handle. I'm not sure if they cut that back any more than simply that tapered area of the handle, but you can see the shiny insert right there. Beautiful knife. This one came from Lamnia, the only place it was available, although it was introduced, I think, in last year's Blade Show in Atlanta, 2022. It hadn't become available till like April of 2023. Here's the fixed blade one I was telling you about. So this is the Osoraku Zukuri Mini Kaiken, which I've reviewed before. A little taller handle, but look, not as long a handle by about an inch. So you're actually getting more to grab onto with the folder. You have to, because it has to accommodate the blade, right? Blade lengths, however, are identical and identical profile. Exactly. Right down to whatever detail you want to point out. This has been a really handy knife. Notice that in true Japanese tanto style, the handle is only big enough for the hand. Nothing sticking out, nothing that can allow it to be pried out of the hand. This is from Sleipner Steel. So in Italy, in Maniaggio, where a lot of the knife makers are, knife companies are, Fox and Lionsteel, and what's that other brand? Viper. They're big on the Sleipner steel and also on N690. All right, this comes, by the way, in a beautiful sheath. Well, let's leave it out for a minute. There's the sheath if you hadn't seen it before. Nice push off on that too. So there's the Osoraku Zukuri Mini Kaiken. Here is an oldie but goodie from Columbia River. This is the Hisatsu 2, a very small folder that I've carried frequently. It's an assisted where you can remove the spring from the end and make it unassisted. And then here's the big daddy of them all. In case you didn't know what it was, that's the Otanashi no Ken. It's billboarded like downtown Tokyo. But that's what Columbia River is doing with a lot of the Wiliams knives for one reason or another. And you can see that it is fairly mammoth compared to the others. A lot of people really like this knife. It's a big, effective fighting folder. It's got the locks, double lock there. And it is steel on one side and G10 on the other, very grippy G10. And that is a steel frame lock on this guy, deep carry clip. Let's remove those that we're not talking about. Here's the assist on this one right there, by the way, very springy. Snaps right out. But again, on this one, there's the spring. You remove a screw and slide out the spring from the end. I've done it at least once. Here's the Griptilian, just for comparison. So we've got just about the same size as a griptilian, okay? In blade length, just about the same size as the griptilian. Okay, well, it's Rat 1 time, and yes, the Rat 1 is going to be a longer folder by a good amount. And there you have it. World's first carbon fiber integral folder at just over 2 ounces. Will you notice this in the pocket? I don't think so. Deep carry, thick pocket clip, but works in and out of the pocket quite well. These little milled out areas don't really hang up very much, I've noticed, and I haven't carried it a lot lately. Came in from Lamnia just yesterday from Finland. This is not an inexpensive knife, so I'll leave the link since prices change, so I hate to state them in the video, but if you use the link, as that price may or may not fluctuate, you should get to see, what your cost is going to be. But I have to give a shout out to Lamnia. They ship fairly inexpensively from Finland to the US. You can go UPS Express. It's like an extra $2 and change, and you get it in 2 days. It's pretty amazing. The speed. I get things faster from them than I ever get them from some US-based retailers. Well, let me know what you think. M390, Spectral carbon fiber, and check the links I'm going to give you to learn a little bit more about this very special material. Be well, take care, come back soon.